I loved Western Stars. I love Letter to You. I just love it all. I went and saw the movie Western Stars. Went and saw that twice. Cried both times. Letter to You, I love. I like Ghost. I think it's terrific. Western Stars, I really liked. E Street Shuffle, I love.
You mentioned your son. Talk to me. How did he get to play with Tom Morello? That's pretty impressive.
He really likes Tom too, and in fact, he's featured in. Now, this is my proud dad moment.
Oh, please do.
Pardon me if I gush. Chris, or as I used to call, he's 35 now, so I think he was about 18 when he asked his mother, "Can Dad not call me Christopher? Just call me Chris anyway." Blah. He was always going to be a musician. He was always going to be a drummer. We had video of him when he was playing our saucepans when he was about 3 years old, and they were his drums. So, and he bought his first drum kit when he was like 14 or something. So he was always going to be a muso. And I knew that he would leave Perth. It's the most isolated city in the entire planet. So I knew that he was going to go. I thought it might be Sydney, but then I pretty much knew that it was going to be America. And about 5 years ago, he got a gig, and I'm very grateful to Richard Patrick from Filter, who brought him over for the Filter tour. And he toured with Richard for a while. That's where he met his lovely wife, Ashley, who was the bass player in Filter, and she played with CeeLo Green and Adam Lambert and who else, I don't know. And she's been the bass player for Cher for about the last maybe 3.5 years, thereabouts. But Chris has done some other bits and pieces. He did the last Avril Lavigne tour, was supposed to do the next one, but unfortunately COVID hit. He was going to do some more stuff with Tom, and that got put aside as well, so that was a bit of a blow. I think it was through connections. I think it was like, sort of this person is there and that person normally plays, but he's off doing something else, and who can we get? Oh, this guy's really good, so let's get him. And of course you have to show your chops. You've got to. Someone can open the door for you, but I've always taught him you better be ready if you walk through it.
Absolutely.
And it went really well. And he was doing the shows in May. I think it was May the 7th. I saw the itinerary, and it said the Stone Pony, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" And I rang him and said, "Mate, you're playing the Stone Pony?" And he went, "Yeah." I said, Are you aware of the actual history of the Stone Pony? And he went, "Not really." I said, "Right, go and do homework." I said, "Check out Springsteen, some bloke called Springsteen. Check out because he knew about the Jersey Shore and the boardwalk and all of that sort of stuff. But I did get a picture of him at the front of Madame Marie's. That was very cool, and at the front of the Stone Pony. I said, Southside Johnny, all of these guys, the northern, the Asbury Park Shore. Anyway, so he played that show, and I got a video of him playing Tom Joad, and he sent me for my birthday this year. He sent me one of the picks that Tom Morello used on that show. He sent me the sticks that he used on that show, and Tom signed a poster for me from that show. So I've got that, Tom Morello at the Stone Pony, So yeah, I've got that. Again, I haven't got any wall space, nowhere to put it, but one day I'll get that. But Chris has done a few things. He played on The Tonight Show. He did with Avril on her last song. He did The Tonight Show. He did Good Morning America, and he did Seth Meyers. So that was all pretty cool. But yeah,
that's very cool.
Yeah, and he's played with some other bands, and he's done some recording with other people, and whoring himself out, as I tell him. But then I said, "Mate, it's show business, and the bigger word is business."
Yes, it is.
So yeah, he's doing it, but it's really hard. I mean, they've had their place in Vegas for a while, but of course with COVID, nothing's happening. So he's doing some teaching, and he's doing some other recording bits and pieces and stuff like that. And with any amount of luck, I don't know, because COVID has just about it's really busted up again in New South Wales on the East Coast, and it's very ugly indeed. So he's flying in there with Ashley on the 28th. So they have to have quarantine for 2 weeks there. And then if they can get over here, they might have to quarantine for 2 weeks here. So it's a bit of a nightmare, but I haven't seen him in about 3 years. So it'll be good. But, you know, if it can't happen, it can't happen. We'll just hope and see.
Yeah, that I do hope you do it. And you should be a proud dad. I mean, that's very cool.
It's funny because the guys at the radio station, like, because I said, you know, Chris is coming over. Is he coming in? Can we meet him? I'm like, yeah, of course. We'll come in and say hello. You know, he's not fully enamored with sunglasses, autographs, and orange juice.
Yes.
He just wants to get the show right. And he and Ashley on the tour bus when they were with Filter, they would do jigsaw puzzles after the show. And when Ashley came out here with Cher, Chris couldn't come because he had some other stuff on. But in Melbourne, I think they had 6 shows or something. Ashley went and found a knitting circle. And now I'll give a plug, Official Pizza Monster. Have a look online, Instagram especially, Official Pizza Monster. Ashley does hand knitted beanies and scarves and stuff like that. It's very cool.
Official Pizza Monster?
Official Pizza Monster, yeah.
All right. I'll do that.
And Chris is Reeve Music.
Okay.
So if anyone needs a section player, talk to my boys.
Good. Yeah. And afterwards you can email me the links and I'll include that in the show notes.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Very cool. That is awesome. I know you have to be proud, and that's very cool. Let's talk about albums or songs that mean a lot to you. You've certainly shared your love of Born to Run, but are there other albums or songs that mean a lot to you? And while we're doing it, talk to me about Letter to You. What's your thoughts on it?
I love it. I loved Western Stars. I love Letter to You. I just love it all. I went and saw the movie Western Stars. I went and saw that twice. Cried both times. Letter to You, I love. I like Ghost. I think it's terrific. Western Stars, I really liked. E Street Shuffle, I love. Some of the stuff in the middle, like Magic and Working on a Dream, I haven't listened to them enough to really know them verbatim. But you know, there's songs and there's songs. When New York City Serenade, I absolutely love. I saw that 4 times. I don't know if you want to talk about it, because the other photo that I sent you of me with when Bruce was on stage shaking hand, I think I sent that to you.
You did.
That was the sound check. That was the 22nd of January 2017. It was the first show of the Australian tour, and I got an invitation to go to the sound check. And then the press conference after that, well, such that it was. I think there was only about like 20 of us there or something. Mm-hmm. And I loved the album and I was really looking forward to it. And when I walked in, the strings were there. And I went, oh, this is going to be good.
Oh,
and
yeah.
For the sound check, they ran all the way through that. So I got to see it one more time than anyone else in Perth. And then they did Land of Hope and Dreams. And then he came forward and, come forward with your questions. And so we got one. And I got a question in. And then I think there was like 1 or 2 questions after that. And I hear from behind me, oh, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. And I went, oh, Bruce, one more thing. And I hear, no. And I said, may I shake your hand, sir? And he went, here it is. And he bent down. And that's the picture that
nice.
And one of the other journos who was there said to me afterwards, he said, I wish I had thought of that. It's like, well,
yes,
you get the shot, you got to take it.
Well, Bruce and I have a long history of me asking him to shake my hand, right? I was going to ask, did working in the radio station does it help you get tickets when he's visiting down there?
Not anymore. No. Those days are gone. I buy tickets.
Yes.
In fact, it was funny when the tour was announced in 2014. I said to Lynette, I don't care if he's doing 10 shows, I'm going to them all. I'll sell myself on the street if I have to get some money. But I saw the three there, and then when he announced again in 2017, I said, same deal.
Yeah.
If I can't, I'm going some way or another, I'll be there for all three. And if he's doing 10 shows, I'm going to all of them. And she's fine. She's like, yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Came with me to one of them.
That's good. So have you ever made a pilgrimage to Jersey?
It's one of the things that I want to do. We
Okay.
were looking to come to America next year to see Chris and Ashley, but who knows what's going to happen with that.
Right.
And there's a couple of places that I definitely, absolutely want to go to. I've been fascinated with JFK, so I do want to go to Dealey Plaza. Some people think that that's morbid, but I just want to go there. And also I want to go to Freehold, of course, and I want to go to Fairmount in Indiana because I'm a huge James Dean fan. And in fact, Christopher is Christopher James. After James Dean. So I want to go there. I want to go to the Jersey Shore. I want to do the whole, and one day I will. One day I'm going to. It will happen.
When you make it to Dallas, let me know, and Linda and I will meet you and buy you margaritas and Tex-Mex. And I'll also, not only Dealey Plaza, but right there is the 6th floor museum.
Yep.
And it is absolutely amazing. Here's my promo. Anyone's visiting Dallas, make a point to go to the 6th floor museum, because it isn't just about Kennedy's assassination. It is about his life. It is the time, the era. It goes into everything about his the day, the legacy, the aftermath. It does an amazing job. So it is something that we're really, I am really, they do a great job. You can't say you're proud of the thing, but it is certainly something very, for the longest time, that was what Dallas was known about only.
Oh yeah.
And then the Dallas Cowboys, and then the Dallas soap opera changed the thing. So that is, so obviously you're chasing Racing in the Street, but do you have other songs that when he tours again you want to hear live?
I want to hear Moonlight Motel, which I absolutely adore.
Yeah, that's a great song.
I really like that. Letter to You. He's got to open the show with Ghosts.
Yeah.
He must open with that. I mean, can you imagine? I hear the sound of your guitar. Boom!
So when I heard the album and I watched the film on Apple, I said, they're going to start with Burning Train. Just Burning Train sounds like a song that would start the show. It's like Meet Me in the City. But then after seeing him on Saturday Night Live and having them start with Ghost, I'm like, okay, I was wrong. Yes, Ghost is how you start the gig. Absolutely.
Yeah, that seems to be a pretty well-worn argument for a lot of people.
Yes.
I do like Burning Train. I love Letter to You. Janie Needs to Shoot It. Fantastic. Power of Prayer. Rainmaker. I absolutely love. I think probably about my second favorite song was If I Was the Priest.
Yes.
I love that song. Yeah, it's great stuff.
I did too. And as I said, Linda is a casual fan, but she like, oh, it's on the weekend, and it's like, yeah, there's a new Bruce documentary. Okay, well, I'm up for any documentary. And so she watched it, and she talked about how much she loved it, and she loved all the music. And then when we went to visit my mom in Louisiana, and driving back home, we listened to it a couple of times. And she's like, I really like this album. I think this is good. And like I said, Wrecking Ball is her favorite. And when he was about to do If I Was a Priest, I'm like, okay, I love this song. I have no idea what it's about, but I just love the way the lyrics flow together and the pacing of the song. And she's like, I agree. I don't know what the song's about, but I absolutely adore it. It's a great song.
Well, there's a little bit in the documentary when he's talking, and he says, tomorrow we're going back to the early 70s. Stand by for some really weird lyrics. And you can listen to those songs, and that was one when he had to get like 57 words into each stanza. And then you listen to something like I'm on Fire, which is so simplistic
Yes.
and pared down, yet still tells the story. But like who would have thought Madman Drummers, Bummers, Indians in the Summer with a Teenage Diplomat? Like, what is that all about? But
Yes.
then you listen to John Lennon when in the Imagine documentary, and that fellow goes, what were you doing? What were you saying? And he said, I'm just playing with words.
Yeah.
That's it, playing with words.
Yeah.
Dylan, maybe John Prine, but yeah, playing with words. And I don't. There's so many. A Spanish Johnny drove in from Harlem late last night with a beat up old Buick, was it with bruised arms, a beat up old Buick, but dressed just like dynamite. I may have slightly messed up those lyrics there a little bit off the
Yes.
top
But
of my
yes.
feeble mind. But yeah, I mean, what's not to love?
Well, and absolutely. And the idea that, um, he's building a feeling. And
Mm.
when Terry Smith and I talked about Letter to You, I said that I feel like if I was a priest is what I wanted Outlaw Pete to be.
Mm.
It just that feeling of this Western epic,
Yeah.
and very, very good. Um,
Mm.
so Cliff, what have I not asked you that I should? We've reached a little bit over an hour. We're having a blast, but what have I not asked you that I should have?
No, I mean, I've loved talking to you. Jesse loved it, and I'm sure that when we finish, I'm going to go, oh, why didn't but like as I said at the start, we could talk till about March. I think I
Yes.
remember when I got, and I can still see it again now. My mum passed away about 18 months ago,
Mm,
and I can remember when I got Born to Run. I took it home, and I was in room 2 of the Lakeview Private Hotel in Kalgoorlie, in Boulder, actually, where I was living, and Mum and Dad owned the boarding house slash hotel. And I made her sit down on the bed and listen to Jungle Land. Now, there's a good chance she probably hated it, but I said, you've got to hear this song. You must hear this song. And that was what it was like, 10 years earlier with Born to Run. You got to hear this guy. I was
yeah.
some sort of, it was evangelical almost in a way for me.
Yeah.
I was the one standing going, come listen. You got to hear this guy. I was the future of rock and roll. Ooh, big statement. And do you remember when John Lennon did that interview saying, Bruce Springsteen's great, but God help him when they work out that he's not the Messiah?
Yes.
That was true to in a way. But yeah, look, I just wanted her to sing that, to hear that song. And I've been, a bit like that when Letter to You came out, because my wife is she's a convert, Jesse. In the
Yeah.
last several years, she's a convert, and she has just listened to Letter to You in her car again and again and again and again. And I go, my work is done.
Yeah. Well, and what I find interesting is the how somehow Bruce has skipped a lot of controversy. He
Yeah.
certainly there are people who, as you talked about, that seem to not understand that he's always had a political side
Yeah.
and has always, spoke for. There are a few people that I know when he got on Broadway, there were a small percentage of fans that says you've forgotten the common man. You're
Oh,
charging tickets, and the reality is that that was what a going rate for a top flight Broadway show was. And
yeah.
and from my point, Cliff, the guy can do whatever he wants. He's earned the
Yeah.
right.
And one of the things I want to say is, I could listen to Bruce if he just got on the microphone and recited the New Jersey Street Directory. I don't
Yes.
care. That'll be pretty cool for me. But look, I don't know if there is. Do you think that there is a middle ground? Because there are the absolute devotees, and then there are other people who go, blah, I'd rather hear fingernails on
Yeah.
a blackboard.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's much of a middle ground?
So I think there are people who certainly enjoy, and as I was talking about the guy who is a BG fan,
Mm.
um, he and I shared something. I said, when I said, I'm going to put words in your mouth and tell me if I'm wrong. Is your first thought when someone says, I don't like the Bee Gees, do you say, have you listened to anything besides Saturday Night Fever?
Yeah.
And he said, absolutely. I said, which is funny because when someone says, I don't like Bruce Springsteen, I want to go, have you listened to anything besides Born in the USA CD?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Exactly. Yeah.
he said, absolutely.
Mm.
Um, he says, that's exactly what we thought. Um,
Mm. Well,
I,
sorry, but that comes back to my statement from what I was saying before about
yeah,
that first show in Perth, the first hour. The
yeah,
crowd was, there were sporadic pockets, me going,
yeah,
yes! But there were a lot of other people, what, when he went into, I got a double shot of E Street,
yeah.
and went into, because I can't remember, I think he did Kitty's Back and then E Street, it might have been the other way around, it doesn't matter. I was in seventh heaven. But there were all these other people going, play Born in the USA. Oh, shut up. I want to hear
Yes.
this.
And it is, as you mentioned earlier in the conversation, right? The issue you have is 40 years of music. What is it? Are we up to 19 albums? Someone's gonna
Think.
yell at me. Someone's gonna yell at me. How can you do a Springsteen podcast and not know the exact albums? And how do you, how do you pick which songs to play?
Yeah, that's
And
it.
and um, to say nothing of tracks and the box
Mm.
sets.
Yeah.
There would have been there were several songs from The Promise, the box set that
Mm-hmm.
he did Meet Me in the City, and that was it.
Great song.
Or like with there were other things like on the River box set. Like I would have loved to hear other outtakes and songs.
Mm.
I think there is a middle ground, and what I think, and I do think there is a fraction of us, Cliff, that are devoted, right? That
Mm.
we're, and I freely admit that when Linda says, "Well, you're going to love anything he does," and I go, "Yes, you're right." I
Yep.
mean, I did not particularly like the Seeger sessions, but that doesn't mean I didn't like it. It's just that wasn't something that scratched my listening, but I recognize a lot of the, and I've seen, I didn't get to see them live, but I've seen enough of like the in Ireland and another YouTube
Mm.
that like I now kind of regret I didn't see that show, right?
Yeah.
Because the band was amazing.
I
Um,
love Pay Me My Money Down. I
yes.
just love that song.
Well, so my son is Chris as well.
Mm.
He is, and he there was a point where he was working for the same, excuse me, company I was, and um, and he was up for a raise, and I would send him, that clip,
Mm.
pay me my money down, and even this all these years later, he will do a YouTube and send a clip of that when it's up to talk about his bonus or his
Yeah.
salary increase,
Yeah.
and like if I owe him money or he owes me money, we will send that clip back and forth. So yes, uh, that is absolutely beautiful.
Love it.
Yeah, um, and I do think that the amount of influence that Bruce has had when you hear
Oh.
other musicians talk about him,
Mm.
and one of the beautiful things about this My Home to Yours is all the, and I think there was an article about it, the lesser known bands that he plays their songs has helped people find their music and it helped them.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful. And it seems like he truly has an appetite for music.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
In fact, there was that thing that went around just a couple of weeks ago. Heavens, what was that? Where he was playing on the rooftop with that
Yes.
band. I can see it. I can't remember the name of it or the name of the band. But yeah, you're right. I mean, there might be some people who see that clip or they know that band, so they check
Yeah.
that out. And there's Bruce. And, okay, fine. I mean, I don't know how on earth there are people in the back of Kazakhstan living in a cave somewhere going, is the new Bruce album out yet?
Yes, exactly.
I must download it. Yeah, I don't know how you could not know Springsteen these days. And I'll admit, look, there's a lot of music that has gone past me. One of the things that I did with Chris when he was younger was play lots of music to him, to give him a wide range of music. And some of it he's going to like, some of it he's not going to like, some of it he will pick up, some of it will get left behind the way it always is. But you know, there's a lot of music that I don't know, because our music format at the radio network has changed slightly. So we're playing some stuff that I didn't know. But then you go, and that's very cool. Who is that? Because see, I don't listen to a lot of music at home. So when I do, I tend to go to the stuff that I really, really like and I really know, and that's what I want to do. I don't want to take 4 minutes to listen to a song from someone who I don't know on the off chance that I might like it. I should do that. But then I'm like, well, you know, I could play Pay Me My Money Down really loudly again or something.
Yeah,
but yeah,
exactly.
I mean, you know, Bruce is everywhere, you know, and why not?
And I thank him, like, hey, I really appreciate you being on the show. He goes, oh, I had such a good time. I said, I'm glad. He says, next time I should tell you the time I got drunk with the E Street Band. What? What? How do you not? You lead with that story, right?
Oh, by the way, my second cousin is Patty Scalfa.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yes, it was. And so, and I, you know, and I was just so shocked. I didn't think about, hey, let me hit record right now and you tell this. So anyway, so go ahead, tell your story, buddy.
There's one other story, and this kind of has to do with me, but I think it has more to do with Bruce's people. I mentioned Big Tony, his security guy.
Sure, yeah.
The first night that I met him, you know, when I got my ticket signed after that first show in 2014, there was a lady in a wheelchair, and she basically got monstered out of the place, and she didn't manage to get in for a photo or anything like that, and she was a little upset. And I saw Tony, and he said to her, can you come tomorrow night? And she said, yeah, I am actually coming tomorrow night. Great, fantastic. Meet me back here after the show. I will make sure that we get you introduced in the photo and everything else. And I thought, yeah, right, yeah, okay. We went the next night. I was waiting there. The van came along. Tony pushed everyone back and brought this lady forward and made sure that she got the photograph, made sure that she got the handshake, that she got the autograph. I think she had Born in the USA, but it doesn't matter. And then, you know, thank you very much indeed. And she was then she was sort of taken to the side, and he said, okay, come forward now. And I saw him the next night, and I said, man, I can't tell you how much that meant to that lady, but certainly to me as well. I said, you didn't have to do that. You know, you didn't have to. And he said, well, why not? She's a fan, and that's what I could do for her. And I went, mate, kudos to you, and just well done, because I thought he must, you know, travels all over the world. There's a zillion screaming fans, and he made sure that lady was looked after. And do you think that she'll ever forget that? Never, 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 never. And I thought it was terrific.
Absolutely. So I have a question for you. And there is no right answer, Cliff, but when he started, you know, especially during the second River tour, there was a lot of stories about him, like he signed an excuse to be late for school from Bruce Springsteen, and you know, you know, and had people join him on stage to sing and perform. And my question is, has that always happened, and because of social media we know more about it, or has Bruce gotten more engaged with his audience lately? And what's your theory?
The interesting thing is, on each of the shows that I've seen since that first show, hasn't been a lot of stories, not a whole lot of talk. But you're right insofar as, he engages with the people and gets them up on stage. And I tried that first night I was in the pit, and I tried. I did blow a kiss to Susie Tyrell, and she blew one back for me, so I was pretty happy about that.
So
Yeah.
if I had one, if they said, okay, you can have one E Street Band member on the
Mm,
show, but it can't be Bruce, I would
mm.
probably pick Susie. I just
Interesting.
love talking. I would love to talk to her.
Mm.
I think her fiddle just adds so much, and it just the interesting of that she's been part of, Bruce and Patty's life for a long time.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
it just think it's neat that she's added. I was
mm,
really lucky that Maureen Van Zant visited with me twice.
yeah.
And that was a lot of fun having her tell some stories.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's great. That's a
Yeah.
good story. And I you hear stories about him meeting with people, like Make a Wish or kids that have
Mm,
had trouble. And I don't know, you can Google it. Taylor Swift talked about that Bruce came to the show with his daughter and one of her friends, and they got backstage. And, Taylor Swift is telling the story that, you know, Dancing in the Dark is one of my favorite songs. And
mm.
he took this little guitar of hers and he started playing Dancing in the Dark for
Oh,
her.
she.
And then he signed the guitar, and she's telling the story to Ellen, and you could just see she is all gig, just she is a fan. She's
Mm,
not Taylor Swift anymore. She's just a Bruce Springsteen fan, thrilled that she got to do.
I
And
think that's great.
yeah, and then I don't I Mary Chapin Carpenter
Mm,
told the story. She's, I don't know if you're familiar with her, but she during the like 90s had a lot of hits on country radio, and she's singer songwriter, and she's done a lot of things. And she talked about that her manager for her birthday bought her Broadway tickets, and she talked about how much it meant to her, and that
mm,
she was so impressed with that. And
yeah.
and
I know several people who saw that Broadway show, and they said that it was life changing.
yeah,
Mm,
it was something pretty amazing. It was great.
mm.
um all right, before I let you go and you can
Yeah.
go enjoy your weekend, got to
I'm
ask you.
loving this.
Oh, good, this is great. I got
Yeah.
to ask you the Mary question. So
Okay.
Jay Armstrong, honors English teacher here in the US at Philadelphia.
Hmm.
Every year his honors English class, they break apart Thunder Road. They look at the
Oh.
lyrics, they look at the imagery. He talks about the themes of the song. They compare it to Robert Frost. And then at the end of the 2 days, he asks his class, does Mary get in the car? So,
Yeah.
Cliff.
And does the dress wave or sway?
Yeah.
That's one
Yes.
that's still going on. Okay. One of the things that I absolutely love is the cinematic thing. Now, because Bruce always said that he wanted to be able to write like Bob Dylan and sing like Roy Orbison. If you listen to a song from Roy Orbison, which I think runs about 2 minutes 10, Running Scared, that's a movie. Thunder
Yes.
Road is a movie. Jungle Land is probably the continuation of Spanish Johnny. I would think. But does she get in the car? I would say yes, because later on you've got strap your hands, cross my engines, wrap your hands around. Oh God, how could I mess up that lyric? Strap your hands. You know what I mean from Born
Yes.
to Run. Yeah, she gets in the car. Yeah, we got to get out of here. Well, it's
Yeah.
we're getting out of here to win. So yeah, she gets in the car. But whether the dress waves or sways, I don't know if anyone's ever going to be happy with that.
Yes, I know. Well, I bought it. I have a T-shirt on my website that says the question isn't if the dress sways or waves; it's does she get in the car?
I love that.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. Um,
Uh,
Cliff, this has been a blast. I appreciate it so much. Um,
and thank you.
are you on social media?
Yes, I am.
All
On
right.
Twitter, it's Cliff_Reeve. And I'm on Facebook. My art stuff, my fan art is on there as well. But yeah, on Facebook, just search for Cliff
Okay.
Reeve. You'll
And
find it.
you're going to send me links, but go ahead and tell again where we can hear your son's music and where we can look at your daughter-in-law's, knitting.
Okay, so for Ashley, it's Official Pizza Monster, and she's doing some hand knitting and crocheting stuff, and of course all of the clips online with Cher as well. And for Chris, he did the Fender sessions with Tom Morello. There's a bunch of other stuff on YouTube from Tom's show, and there's a bunch of stuff from Filter as well. I lose touch with some of the other things that he's doing, but yeah, his Instagram is Reeve Music, and you'll be able to find his stuff there. In fact, he put something up overnight which I haven't even had a chance to have a look at yet. But yeah, he's there. And for me, if you go to Triple M in Australia, in Western Australia, you can listen along the way, and I'd love to have you.
Very nice. All right, we'll have to do that. All right, send me all those in an email or on direct Twitter, and I'll add those in the show note. Cliff, I am so glad we were able to work out our schedules. This was a blast. It was so much fun. We will have to do it again.
I would love to, and thank you so much for asking. I really appreciate that, and I'm glad to be able to talk to Bruce Buds around the world. And yeah, Jesse, I would love to come back again sometime in the future. I really appreciate it.
All right, for you listeners, please stay safe. Remember to social distance. Remember to wash your hands. Remember to wear an effing mask. Let's all be good to each other, and let's take care of each other because we need to. For now. Good night, and we'll talk to you soon. Doing a podcast at times can be a one-way conversation, and I hate that. So please let me know what you like and don't like about the work I'm doing. You can reach the podcast via email at setlistingbruce@gmail.com. The show is on Twitter at setlistingbruce, and my personal Twitter is at jessejacksondfw. We have a website, www.setlistingbruce.com. From there, you can find links to other Springsteen podcasts as well as other music-themed podcasts. We have a page devoted to our own SLB All-Star Band. These are guests who have been on the podcast more than 3 times. There is a link to our store where you can purchase Set Listing Bruce shirts as well as a Merry Question t-shirt. There is a link to our Patreon page where you can sign up to help support the podcast financially. We have different levels and different rewards based on your support. If you don't have any extra cash, and right now who does, you can support the podcast by subscribing via your favorite podcast player and leaving us a review. The more reviews we have, the easier it is for people to find us. And please tell a friend about the podcast, especially if they love Bruce or music, because it will make a difference.
You just heard the fun talking, hard rocking, music loving, album ranking, fan thinking, joy spreading, lyric reading, story sharing podcast that is the one, the only Set Listing Bruce. Set Listing Bruce is part of the Southgate Media podcast group. The theme for Set Listing Bruce was written by David Rosen, used by permission.
All right, my friend, we will talk again. Thank you so much.
And thank you.
Enjoy your holiday. And I hope you do not get a letter from your company as you send the memo. When you get back on dry dock, I know you'll be ready to go. But enjoy your time, my friend. And don't hesitate to reach out if you need anything. I appreciate you, my friend.
And thank you. And may you have a great Christmas, and to you and your family and friends, stay safe there.
I appreciate that a lot. See you later.
Thank you, Jesse. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.